We all know that fruit trees pay big dividends. Of all the things you can plant in your yard, fruit trees are about the only thing that you can plant that actually pays back, like a bank account. So they're worth putting some effort in. And of the fruit trees you have in your yard, the stone fruits, the peaches, the plums, the apricots, the nectarines, are the ones that prove to be the most problematic for most gardeners. Here at Evergreen, on Info at Evergreen, we get more requests every year about how to prune a fruit tree. So we thought we might help out and give you some tips. Number one, the time of the year to prune a fruit tree is in the very, very, very early spring. And after you do the prune, it's important to spray with an oil spray. Otherwise, the peaches get peach leaf curl, the apricots get some sort of smut. There's always something going wrong, but a little bit of oil sprayed on the trees, according to the manufacturer's instructions, makes a huge difference. Now it's time to be a better butcher. Being a better butcher for your fruit tree means having the courage to actually cut off something. Now this fruit tree is already in bloom, and you can really start to understand why you want to prune back. Each one of these flowers, this one, this one, this one, every flower would be a fruit. Of course, the trunk's only a couple inches thick. It can't support all those fruits. So this tree has way too many branches. So our objective is to go in and try to open the tree up like a vase of flowers, or like you would prune a rose bush. We want to make sure that the light is able to penetrate down to all the fruit. So we're going to prune, and we're going to prune pretty heavily. So we're going to take some branches out of the inside. You can use loppers like these. You can use hand shears. For me, I like the hand shears for the smaller things and the loppers for the larger things. So we're going to get rid of the crossing branches. We're going to go in and make sure there's no dead wood. We're going to actually take, on occasion, where it matters, we're going to take a big branch out of the inside because we want to maintain light all the way down inside the tree. This is the part that most gardeners aren't willing to do. So we took out a huge branch like that, pretty big, in an effort to try to, number one, cut down on the total number of blossoms, and number two, maintain light into the inside of the tree. So out comes another big branch, and we've opened it up. And then we want to take away the crossing branches, the low-lying branches, but above all, we also do not want to let the tree just grow straight up. So we're going to want to take some of the top off. So you just reach up, just like that, boom, off comes the major branch. And so you want to keep the tree pruned down, thinned out. Now, after you've pruned it down, and I'm not done with this one, the last step is to fertilize. Fruit trees are very hungry. They're going to give you something back. A bag of Grow Power, a little fertilizer spread around the drip line. It looks like coffee grounds. There's really not much to it. You just spread it around. If you follow those 3 steps, you'll have plenty of fruit. Your trees will pay dividends. When you plant plants in your yard, the plants always pay off better than any other home investment you can make. But fruit trees, they pay dividends. When you plant a fruit tree in your yard, you're going to get something back. Of the plants that are easy to grow in your yard, citrus is one of the main things. Here we have a Nagami kumquat. We have every kind of citrus here, 32 varieties. But among them, this little Nagami kumquat is famed for its color and its pretty leaves. But you can make great marmalade, and as a kid, I used to eat them right and left. They're a little sour when you start, but then the sweetness comes out. It's great. In Southern California, we think of grapes, we think of wine. And Southern California is truly wine country. But when I was growing up here in Southern California, in my mom's backyard, she had a Concord grapevine. That little Concord grapevine had little blue grapes about this big, and as a kid, when you squeezed them, you could squeeze them right into your mouth. It was just the most delightful thing to eat. Well, you can do that for your kids as well. And nowadays, there are raspberries and boysenberries that do just great in Southern California. We have a wide selection of those available, and if you don't plant them, you're missing a chance to have something great in your yard. Here at Evergreen, on our website, we have a thing called Info at Evergreen. One of the very largest quantities of requests we get is, how do I grow my avocado? The tough thing about avocados is, if you have the right conditions, you almost can't do anything wrong. If you have the wrong conditions, you almost can't do anything right. So, if you live in what we call the avocado belt, somewhere where the soil is sandy and it doesn't freeze, avocados are a fabulous choice for your yard. If you live someplace that has clay soil, it's an uphill swim. So you're going to have to do a lot of soil prep, and you're going to have to remember some of the basics about avocados. Number one, they only live in the top foot of the soil. So whatever you do beneath them isn't really important, but that top foot is really important. It needs to be sandy, well-drained soil that holds on to its moisture, but not too much. If they get too much water, you just can't keep them alive. The next thing is, they freeze. So they can't live someplace in a lowland valley where they're going to get some frost. We grow 3 or 4 different varieties, but the primary ones that everybody likes are Hass avocados, and we grow some dwarf varieties. If your yard isn't very big, an avocado can become a really big tree. So planting a smaller one, a little dwarf variety like Holiday or Little Column, might be a way to go. And then if you fertilize, nothing easier and nothing better than your own guacamole for the Super Bowl. Of over 50 kinds of fruit trees we grow here at Evergreen, the stone fruits, that's peaches, plums, apricots, and nectarines, they're the ones that the kids go crazy for. There's nothing quite like your little kid coming out and picking a peach right off the tree and eating it. If you want them to be gardeners, give them that first peach, they'll be hooked for life. But one thing to remember about most of our yards, they're small for big-sized fruit trees. So here at Evergreen, we grow mostly semi-dwarf trees. But if you have a real small spot, you might want to consider a true genetic dwarf. This little tree is only 2 feet wide, and look at all these peaches. And every flower in the spring is a bright pink flower. Or a regular semi-dwarf will fill a space in your yard, and your kids will have a chance to eat their first fruit off of their tree.